Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope that all of you have had a good week and you're looking forward to a great weekend. Students, this is an IELTS Speaking Part 3 class. We are going to be answering some questions about city development. So the growth and the change of cities, new constructions, old buildings getting torn down, new areas of the city being built and developed. So think about these concepts as we head into practicing for these Part 3 questions. This lesson, as per usual, is brought to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there for general IELTS. Visit us at gieltshelp.com. These are the lessons, these are the websites that power these live classes lessons. So to get the materials, that's where you want to be. Carolina is our chat moderator. She is with the blue letters for her name in the chat. You can ask her questions. Fuang Elizabeth Habibi, nice to see members. Avisha, Jubair Ahmed, Raghav, Saiful, nice to see many students with us here today. The websites that we're going to use in the class, again, aehelp.com looks like this with the blue background. You can click this big red button that's just right above my head there to join the premium version of the course. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We're an IDP affiliate. We're a British Council partner. We're an IELTS test registration center. We're certified British Council agents. You are in great hands with us. When you click that red button, make sure to use the code TRAIN9 for a 10% discount. And you can do the same on the general IELTS version of our website at gieltshelp.com by clicking the big red button right there to join the premium version of the course. And you can also download and link the apps. You can download Academic IELTS Help, link it to aehelp.com, download General IELTS Help, and link it to gieltshelp.com. You can follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AEHelp and gieltshelp. And if you have questions that don't get answered on the websites in these live classes or on Instagram, you can also send an email to adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. Importantly, students, we do not have live classes tomorrow, so I hope that all of you have some fun activity planned for your weekend. And then our next live class will be Speaking Part 1 on Thursday. I will be posting this schedule on our YouTube community board, the posts, and I will also put it up on Instagram as well. For the most recent video, follow this link on YouTube and definitely check out the new videos on the website as well. Lots of videos there. Okay. Sarah, good to see you in this class also. Thank you for joining up again. Another one of our chat moderators. It's good to have two of you here because there are lots of students waiting and ready to learn. Let's get into IELTS Speaking Part 3. This is the last and final part of your speaking interview. It will be about 6-7 questions that are related to the topic of Part 2. Make sure to speak in this class. Speak and repeat. Copy me, copy your peers, learn new vocabulary, write it down. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about public needs. What are public needs? So when you hear this kind of blanket statement, let's talk about public needs, what comes to mind? So what do you think of before the IELTS examiner starts to ask you these specific questions? What does the public need? What do we need as a group of humans, as a human society? Habibe says health and education. Absolutely. What else do we need? We need shelter, sure. Yes. Transportation. Absolutely. Elizabeth says we need free parking lots. Yes. True. We need food. Yes, we need grocery stores, okay? All right. We need utilities. Very good. So that's like water, electricity, right? Absolutely. Okay, so hopefully when you think of health, you think of hospitals, maybe nursing homes. When you think of education, hopefully you think about schools, universities. Okay, when you think about shelter, you think of houses, apartment buildings. Okay. When you think of transportation, you think of public transit, roads, right? Food, you think about grocery stores. Utilities, you might think about a power plant. Okay, power plant is the place where they generate power or electricity. So those should all be kind of swimming around in your head, flying around when you get this introduction of public needs. So these general concepts. So we're going to jump right into the questions, and I will give you strategies and tips for the speaking as we progress. Okay, so it's integrated into the class. Since it's our final class this week, I would like to spend a good amount of time on communicating with students, listening to your speaking, giving you feedback. So here we go. The examiner says, okay, that is the end of part 2. We will now continue with part 3. Let's talk about public needs. What are common public services that people expect governments to provide them free of charge? Let's write a nice full sentence answer for this one. Okay. Do the same. Put your answer in the chat, and then I'll take a look at what you're writing and saying, because you should say it, right? This is a speaking class. Again, speak and repeat. Okay. So definitely say it, and say it nice and loud. Okay. There, I'm trying to get a little better angle for us here. And then we'll compare. A couple of public services that come to mind right away, which should be free for citizens, include education and healthcare, such as public schools and hospitals. These should be available to all citizens without having to pay in order to improve the overall standard of living in society. Fortunately, in Canada, this exists mostly in this way. Okay, so here's my answer. A couple of public services that come to mind right away, which should be free for citizens, include education and healthcare, such as public schools and hospitals. These should be available to all citizens without having to pay in order to improve the overall standard of living in society. Fortunately, in Canada, this exists mostly in this way. Okay, good. Anahita has this answer for us today in the chat. Anahita says, some common services that citizens anticipate authorities to furnish for them without spending money include healthcare services, education, fundamental utilities such as water and electricity. Since, and I don't see the rest of it, Anahita, it doesn't mean you didn't write it. It's just that YouTube might not post it for me. Since these ensure a civilized functioning of people. Okay, yeah, turn water off or electricity off. Chaos will break out. Okay, Raji has this answer for us. In my country, people expect to get some healthcare facilities free of cost, and education, which is skyrocketing these days and should be reduced. Also, utilities should be free of cost. Why, Raji? We don't need fundamental utilities, just utilities. We don't need to talk about the internet. Okay? All right. Why? Give an explanation. Always include explanations, students. Samir has this answer for us. There are lots of services that the government should provide the citizens, but to be honest, the government should provide basic needs such as shelter, education, health without any pay. And again, why, right? So what I really want everybody to focus on as we get into verbal interactions is using the word because. Because is your friend during the IELTS speaking. It will help you to increase your fluency. Use synonyms like therefore, as a result, since. Okay, so a lot of those cause and effect subordinating conjunctions, you should be using those. All right. David has this answer for us. Education and healthcare are common public services that people expect the government to sponsor because it's widely believed that everyone has a right to study and receive medical treatment for the overall benefit of society. I agree. Very nice. We have reason. Always tell the examiner the reason for your answer. Okay. Elizabeth says, because we pay taxes. Very good, Elizabeth. Exactly. Okay. All right. Good. Raji says, because we are paying taxes to the government, and I think it's time for the government to look after us to give basic needs for ordinary people that cannot afford much. Okay, Raji, exactly. That's what you need to do. All right, students, lots more questions and answers to come, but let's do it together. So oftentimes I only am able to speak with a few students at the end of the class. So let's start a little bit earlier today and really give chances to as many viewers as possible. This is what we want to do, to volunteer for speaking and learn from each other, because a lot of the mistakes that people make are kind of the same. Go to aehelp.com. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Carolina, for putting the instructions in the chat. And then once you're at aehelp.com, again, these are the websites that we have which power these live classes. Okay. And once you go to aehelp.com, again, you can join the premium version of our course by clicking any of these big red buttons, and it's definitely worth it. Spend a little bit of money to save yourself a lot of money and not sit the IELTS exam 3-4 times. Learn the right communication strategies. And then once you've, join the premium course, you have access to your My Student account. In your My Student account, you have tons of goodies like computer-based practice exams, online course, exam books, and lesson videos, audio CDs. What we're doing right now is we're going to use this function of the site, which is the student partner speaking. Okay, click on that. Accept the terms that you will speak politely. You'll focus on IELTS, and then you'll see a list of students pop up. That list will shortly grow and grow. And then you can click on this blue envelope that's next to my handle. My handle is Master. Easy to see, all capital letters. Okay. And send me a message. Say, I want to volunteer, and then we can converse with each other. I can assess your language, give you feedback. So we have Angel here. Angel's volunteering, one of our regular members. Very good to see, Angel. Practice, practice. Angel, are you ready? Some verbal communication now. Students, check your network. Use a VPN if you have to. Put on a headset. It's good. So set yourself up for a comfortable quality communication environment. Angel, if you're ready, let me know, and then we'll jump right into it.
Hi, sir.
Hi, Angel. How are you?
I'm doing perfect. How about you?
I'm doing quite good. Maybe not perfect, but quite good. I'm a little bit more tired than usual today. I'll be honest with you, Angel. A little bit. I don't know. I didn't sleep all that well last night, but that's okay. That's okay. I will rest later. All right. Why are you doing so well, Angel? What's making your life perfect?
Can you repeat your question, please?
Yeah. Why are you doing so well? What's making your life perfect?
Huh. What is really important for me to have regular meditation because it uplifts my spirits, and also whenever I can't be focused, I do some meditation.
What kind of meditation? Can you explain how you meditate?
Yeah, sir. My mother do meditation, and she's really professional in this case, and she guides me in this case.
So it's guided meditation.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, does she actually speak to you while you're meditating?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. That's so lucky. I wish I had someone around me who could do guided meditation for me. Well, no wonder you're doing perfect. I'm jealous. Send your mom my way for just a day so she can guide me in meditation. That sounds fantastic. I've done it before. I've done guided meditation
Maybe
before.
someday, sir.
Yeah, it's amazing. Guided meditation can definitely improve overall well-being. I agree. All right. Well, Angel, let's jump into some part 3 questions. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Before I ask, for part 2, what was a place that changed in your city?
Um, if I wanted to tell about, yeah, I wanted to use my imagination power because I didn't know what should I want to talk about. But the most changes has been done in downtown of my of my city.
Hmm.
Yeah. It used to be a bustling part of the city with a significant number of international businesses, but nowadays it is allocated to cafe, restaurants, and game centers and these sort of things.
So it's not as busy anymore.
It's no, it's actually it's busy nowadays also, but it's not exclusively for business and trading.
I see. I see. Do you know the vocabulary or the word when it's a modern situation where these cities are becoming less crowded for business and for work in the downtown area because people are moving outside more to suburban areas, to rural areas. They're doing home office. And they're not living so much in the center of the city. Do you know what that trend is called? It has a name. It's an interesting kind of vocabulary to know.
Mm, Honestly, I can't remember now.
Have you heard the term decentralization of cities?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's called decentralization of cities. It basically means like people are starting to move out of the downtown areas of many cities, especially since COVID, and they're finding more comfortable, relaxing lifestyles in suburban and rural areas. Decentralization of cities, so moving out of the center or downtown of cities. Yeah.
Sir, actually, it's still. I mean, the focal point of my city is still for trading, but there are also lots of cafes and restaurants, trendy shops. They're all together.
What city are you in, Angel?
I'm talking about Tehran.
Tehran. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
but as I told you, sir, I was I was using my imagination power.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's not this much, crowded. There are still a business part of, a part of city which is located to businesses,
Mm-hmm.
but a few several shops and cafes and restaurants. But I wanted to make it a little bit, crowded, and
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to give a comprehensive answer.
Good. Yeah, absolutely. And it's good to kind of add information if you can, for sure, to paint and describe your language more. Let's jump into these part three questions. Keep that part two concept in mind. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's talk about public needs. What are common public services that people expect governments to provide for them free of charge?
Um, there are many public services that people consider crucial, and they think that should be either free or low cost. These include affordable education centers and low cost medical care system. As people often have to pay a lot of for these services, but they should be accessible to everyone, regardless of their financial levels.
Why do people think these should be free?
As I mentioned earlier, people usually have to pay lots of money. It's cost a fortune to use medical care system usually, and although it should be low cost or even free of charge for people from different kinds of financial levels, and they should not be worried about the money they want to pay for medical care system or for the tertiary education.
Which kinds of services are available these days for communities that did not exist 100 years ago?
Over the past few decades, the internet has revolutionized the way people interact and even do shopping, which was once a dream, has become a reality nowadays. With online shopping making it possible to buy products from the comfort of one's home. In addition, online education has become increasingly prevalent. Um, Thanks to technological advancements, people can now study remotely without the need to attend traditional courses in person and suffer from traffic congestion or pay for transportation and so.
Okay, I'll stop there for a second. All right, Angel, that's good. Your English is improving. You're becoming much more confident, I think, in your English and in the situation of the IELTS. So I think at the beginning you were kind of nervous, especially the first time when you were interacting. And now you're just kind of comfortably talking. And that's really showing in the accuracy and fluency, the natural part of your language. So that was really good. These responses would earn you about a band 8 on the IELTS. Your fluency is about a band 9. Your grammar is about a band 8. Your coherence is about a band 8. Try to give some examples. So, like, say something like here in Tehran, there's now local Wi-Fi everywhere, and I can see people walking around communicating on their phones and working on their laptops. This was definitely not the case a century ago, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
also the accuracy. So you said a few decades ago. The question was 100 years ago, which precisely is 10 decades or a century ago. So it's a little bit more than a few decades, right? So you changed the timeline there a little bit. Another way you could have expressed that is like in the earlier part of the 1900s, there was no internet, but nowadays it's a common service that's provided by the government and other businesses. So just be a little bit more careful with what the question actually has or what it's actually
Yeah.
asking you, okay? But the internet was really good. So the internet is obviously a service that didn't exist a century ago. What's another service that might not have existed a century ago in Takran?
In my city,
Mm-hmm.
well, I think nowadays people usually use public transportation due to its development
Mm-hmm.
during the last decade. Yeah, although it was
Last
not,
century. Last
yeah,
century.
it
Okay,
was
far.
not too much developed, and particularly they use metro
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, underground. I mean, um,
Okay,
rather
good.
than using taxis.
100 years ago, even probably taxis weren't very common. So again, really pay attention to that question, right? Repeat this word after me, Angel. Prevalent.
Prevalent.
Yeah, the pronunciation was a little bit off on that. It's okay if the pronunciation isn't perfect on every word, but eventually, like if you mispronounce, let's say, 5, 6 words, they start to kind of make that band 9 an impossibility. So it would be a band 8.5, right? So prevalent.
Prevalent.
Can you explain to all of your peers what prevalent means?
Prevalent means something that can be really popular these days, and people usually use that. As an example, internet is prevalent, and people can get connected together, interact with each other everywhere, wherever they are and whenever they want, because internet is prevalent and also
Nice.
smart. Also, yeah.
You're ready for English teaching, Angel. It's exactly how you want to do it. Give the definition and then give the example. That's exactly what you did. So you're right. Prevalent means popular. And if I want to be a little bit more specific, it means easy to see in everyday situations. So that's what prevalent.
Ubiquitous, maybe.
Ubiquitous is a little bit different. Prevalent, if I want to give it a precise definition, I would say it's easy to see in everyday situations. It's prevalent. Like you go there, you see it. You go there, you see it. You go there, you
Yeah.
see it. It's prevalent. It prevails. It comes from the word to prevail. Angel, that was really good. Thank you for sharing that great vocabulary with everybody. And again, just really pay attention to the question. Don't rush. Use the question carefully, okay? So over the past century instead of the past few decades, over the past century. Okay?
Gotcha, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Angel, have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.
Bye.
All right, that was Angel. I'm just going to reload the page. Well, let's see if I can. No, I can't. I have to reconnect to the website here. It's telling me to reconnect to the chat server. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do a shift refresh here, everybody. So I will see you in just a second. You should always do the same. So if you see a little red message at the top saying that your WebSocket has closed, just refresh the page and then you'll reconnect. I do see Sarah and Siri Girl Sai, Adel, Anahita. Anahita, are you ready? I saw that you volunteered. We haven't spoken in a while. Sarah, by all means, do volunteer. There you are. I'll circle back to you in a moment. So let's give Anahita a chance. I've just messaged her, and then Sarah will talk to you in a few moments. So hang in there, students. We've got lots of time. Ahmet Turk, one of our premium students, I see you there as well. That's great. Anahita, I don't know what's going on your end. I'm not sure if you're hearing it, but let's try it this way. Hi, Anahita. Anahita, are you there? I saw your call. I picked up. Right, I know you have some issues with the Apple phone showing the buttons and connecting. Not sure what's going on there, Anahita. Just maybe try to reconnect, and I'll circle back to you. Okay. So let's try in a couple of minutes. Okay. Meanwhile, Sarah, are you ready? If you're ready, let me know. Kinda. All right. We'll take it. Hi, Sarah.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing quite well, thank you. So you are preparing for your big trip to Calgary, right?
Yes, I am. And
All right.
actually, my English became so much bad since like so long. I haven't spoken in English.
Oh no. Well, you're going to have to do that now.
Yeah.
Although you can use French in a few places, you won't have any problems until you actually arrive to Calgary because all government workers in Canada, like for example, the customs officers at the airport, they all speak French fluently. So that's the good news, is that your first language is Canada's official second language, right?
Yeah. It's the only I think I'm enjoying actually for now. But I'm really worried about my English there. I feel like so awkward speaking English again.
So lots and lots of practice, Sarah. Yeah, definitely try to put yourself into English situations. Is that why you decided to come back, to brush up on English before your trip?
Not actually. It's kinda, but I wanted to like update like the whole class in view that like I'm coming to Canada. It's like I love to share my updates since I started in the channel my
Mm-hmm.
journey, and as well I wanted like to to sharp my English again.
Well, I super appreciate that. I can't speak for everybody else, but I have a feeling that they do too. And I think it's very inspirational, Sarah. Sometimes, when people have this wish or this dream or this plan to go abroad and study, it can become difficult, especially if, there's some language barriers and problems with the IELTS. And you're here and you're motivating them. You're a living, breathing, actual success story of studying for the IELTS, passing the exam, and now you have your plane tickets and you're on your way to Calgary. Did you get an acceptance in the University of Calgary?
Yes, I've got an admission in University of Calgary.
That is awesome. You're going to have so much fun. Definitely report back and let us know how it goes when you start your life in Calgary, okay?
Hopefully I'll be like more available when I'll be in Canada because now the lives are mostly in my working time, so I can't attend them. But hopefully when I'll be in Canada, it will be like I'll be more available to attend the classes and keep everyone updated.
Hopefully, but I do know that you're going to have a lot to do, especially getting used to the people and the culture. You're going to have lots of fun. So get ready for a very fun but busy life here as well. I'm sure you'll be quite occupied. So, all right, Sarah, well, let's help you brush up on your English a little bit. Are you ready for some questions?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Let's talk about public needs. How can volunteering contribute to fulfilling certain public needs?
Volunteering is about to help the government to provide more services for the people. So, so people should volunteer more, more to. By example, if the number of volunteering workers increased, that means the government will be able to provide more services, such as giving free education and free house, free health. Free.
Let's talk a little bit about city development. What are important points to consider these days when building new neighborhoods and apartments in city centers?
When building a new neighborhood, the government should always consider that this neighborhood should have all the needs that people need to live, such as having hospitals and schools nearby, and let everyone accessible to what they need in a short time.
Okay, let me give you a little bit of feedback. So, if you gave me those IELTS answers today, Sarah, I would probably mark you about a band 7. Okay, so it's fairly good English. You're being fairly fluent and it makes sense. I can definitely tell that you haven't been practicing much English recently because your accent has become a bit thicker since we last
Yeah.
spoke. And that happens. So, like, we can improve our accent, we can actually um, also kind of regain our accent if we don't speak for a long time. But that's going to change in a big, big way when you're speaking English day in and day out in your school. Okay, so the first question I asked you is how can volunteering contribute to fulfilling certain public needs? And you said volunteering is about helping provide people with more services, so people should volunteer more. The coherence was a bit off, like I wasn't exactly clear on what volunteering was contributing there. And you used a good strategy. So you remembered this from your studies that you should jump to kind of an example when you forget what you want to say. So by example, if the number of volunteers increase, the government can provide more services like education, which was good, but it wasn't specific enough. Think about some specific volunteers. So what kind of volunteers are you thinking about, Sarah?
Like cleaning the streets.
Okay, so can you give me an example of how cleaning the streets, volunteering to clean the streets, can help fulfill public needs?
So because like a public wants health, and if the streets like were full of garbage, so this is not provided to them. If people try to like clean their neighborhoods, they are helping government to them in a healthy environment.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give you an example here that is synonymous with what you just said, except a little bit more specific here. So, like when people volunteer to pick up garbage on the streets, this will assist in decreasing illness and put less pressure on the medical system. Can you try saying that concept?
Like when the people increase volunteering in cleaning their streets, that helps to keep them in a healthy environment, and increase and decrease the pressure on the health system.
Okay, very good. Medical system. Yeah,
Medi-
absolutely. Okay. Medical system. Go ahead, sir. Repeat after me. Medical system.
medical system,
Healthcare system.
healthcare system.
Okay. All right, Sarah. So lots of speaking. Definitely use the website. So whenever you have a chance and you're at home and you're sitting, open up the computer, even when when you're watching Netflix or something like that. And then if you see somebody ping you and go, "Hey, Sarah, do you want to practice?" Then you can be like, "Oh, good. Here's a chance to talk, talk, talk." It'll just help you be more comfortable when you get off that plane. Okay.
Yes,
All right.
thank you.
Sarah, and definitely come back, volunteer over the next few days until you have to board that plane across the Atlantic Ocean. It's going to be a big flight. Have you ever been on such a big flight?
No, actually, because I live in Europe, so all my flights are kind of like 2 hours, 4 hours, like nothing that big.
Yeah, so it's going to be a huge experience for you. It's quite a different experience for
Yeah.
sure. All right. Well, Sarah, thank you for sharing your experience again. Have an awesome rest of the day and then come back, okay?
Thank you so much, sir.
Bye, Sarah.
Bye.
All right. There is Sarah. Definitely a success story indeed. Adel, I see that you're ready. Are you there? Thumbs up for Sarah, right? Okay. Adel, if you are hanging out, waiting for your turn. Anahita, I do see you there, so I'm going to reach out to you. I just saw you kind of pop up at the bottom there.
Hello,
Hi, Adel. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good also. Thank you for asking. Adel, can you
Um,
tell everybody what city you're in and why you're studying IELTS?
well, sure, sir. Thank you. First of all, thank you for giving me this chance. It's actually the second one. By the way, originally I'm from Yemen, but currently I'm living in Jakarta, Indonesia. I just moved recently. Before that, I was living in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Wow, you're
Yes.
traveling the world. And why are you
No,
taking the IELTS?
I'm taking the IELTS for immigration purpose. Usually, I'm in accounting. I work as an accounting. So this there is some chance for me to allocate in another country. So there is one of the requirement for me to obtain IELTS, general IELTS.
Which country? May I ask which country you're planning to go to?
It is Australia.
Mm-hmm. So you're staying in the warm climates, right? You're not going to chance the minus 35 degrees in Canada?
I'm looking forward for that. To be honest, there is another chance for me. I mean, there is options for me to also apply for another countries, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to not be distracted and just focus.
Mm-hmm.
But this will be another chance actually, and as what you say, it will be under minus,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
such as Canada and New Zealand.
Yeah, you have to kind of get used to it. You're definitely from the warmer climates by the sounds of it. So, so
Right.
if you can, Australia is a beautiful country and it's a big country. So it's a continent country. All right. Well, Adele, I will help you with that. Accountant. Okay. It's good to have an accountant friend. So I will
Thanks.
help you with English. You can help me with accounting. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Sure,
I'm
sure. Feel
kidding.
free, sir. I will be here at any time.
All right, I was kidding with you, Adele. But hey, you never know. All right, Adele, let me ask you some questions. Let's talk about public needs. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. How can volunteering contribute to fulfilling certain public needs?
Well, volunteers is one of the things that's what we should familiarize ourselves with. For instance, doing something for the community is actually will pay back whatever it is, and that's not only good for us as an individual, but it's also put some good things in the new generation, such as kids when they see us work for the community, volunteering for the community. That's where we build the individuals. Not It's also has a good bones for the cities and for how you belongs to that place.
How can this be encouraged?
Well, it can be encouraged by being recognized. For an instance, some people who is trying to clean to volunteer to clean beach or some roads, they be if they being recognized by the councillor or the by government member in that city, it's will encourage them. It's also will have a look and insight for people around that city to recognize that what they are doing and how good it is for the city.
Let's talk about city development. How is technology being used in city development to make life easier for people?
Well, for the last decades, the technology has make our life very easier, especially for commuting in the city from place to another. For instance, as what I can see in the city of Kuala Lumpur, there is a huge development in terms of underground train, such as MRT. It's really have has had made it easy for people to move from place to another. It's not only helping people to move around, but it's also reduce the population, as that reduce the use of cars around the cities. I also can see there is some city which initiate to use train for moving goods and products around the city from manufacture to ports, which means there is will be reduction in terms of use trucks and heavy equipment.
Okay, Adele, let's stop there and let me give you some feedback. So, according to the IELTS marking, that would be about a band 6. You're fluent, and some examiners might mark you a 5.5 simply because of the coherence. So you give a lot of information, but it's not quite clear. I get the overall idea of what you're saying. However, because of the content, the grammatical mistakes, the word choice, it's kind of making it a little bit tricky for me to understand exactly what you're saying. So I mostly understand what you're saying, but not exactly what you're saying. And to get into the band 7 or higher marks, you have to have more concise and more precise language. Are you following me, Adele, so far?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So when you're giving answers in your IELTS, what I would really like you to focus on is just giving a very direct answer, direct explanation, and a direct example with some good connections. Really pay attention to the grammar, okay? There were quite a few grammatical mistakes here and there throughout the sentences, and they felt quite disjointed. Just repeat after me. Technology has been used in cities over the past 20 years to make lives for people very convenient.
Technology has been used for the last 20 years to make the life for people very convenient.
Okay. A lot of new infrastructure has been built, such as new buses and trains that get people from their home to their work quickly.
A lot of new infrastructure has been built, such as bus and train, that's help people to move from their house to work
From their home to work and school quickly.
From home, work, and school quickly.
20 years ago, it took me 30 minutes to get to my school, but now that same trip takes just 5 minutes by bus.
20 years ago, it took me 20 minutes to move from to school, but now it's a trip bus.
Okay, so that was the same idea, but again, careful with those grammatical mistakes because it starts to become confusing. So really focus on recording what you say, transcribing it. There's a lot of transcription software, like if you're using Apple, then Whisper is a free piece of software that will change your voice to text and then actually check for grammatical mistakes. So definitely fix it and then repeat always with the correct grammar. Okay, Adele?
All right.
So you've got a lot of English. You have a lot of English. Now you need to focus on just making sure that you're putting it together correctly. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
I do believe it's actually moving recently. I've lost a little bit of practice, as the environment I'm around is not mostly speaking the same language as English.
Yeah, it's easy to fall out of practice. So that's kind of the same story with Sarah, right? When we just leave English for a while, then it's easy to fall out of practice. But as long as you're getting back on that horse, that's the idiom. As long as you get back up on the horse, and in this case, it's the English horse. So as long as you get back up on the English horse, then it's okay, and it's totally okay to do that. It's with languages, it's the same concept as with exercise. Sometimes we have a falling out where we stop exercising for a couple of weeks or a month even. As long as we get back into the gym, back out there running, and the same concept, back out there speaking English, then it's all going to be just fine. Okay, Adel?
All right, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
You're very welcome. Thank you for your politeness, and have a lovely weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye for now.
All right, that was Adel, one of our members, a great guy, and doing good. And back here practicing English. I see we have Gundin Kim, 80, signing back up. Nice to see you. Hi, how are you? I see your big green band in the comments there. That's great. Okay, Sarah's giving you some help there. Carolina is giving some help as well. This is fantastic. Nice. You're all paying attention to each other. That's really good. Okay, Anahita, I'm going to try you again. Maybe you switched your system a little bit. Are you ready? Let's try one more time. Anahita, if you're there, I'm going to give you a call and hopefully we can make a connection. It seems to be working with everyone else quite well. So,
Sir,
hi, Anahita. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. How about you?
Everybody's doing so well today. I'm usually the one I'm doing okay. Like I said, I'm a little bit tired. You're doing fabulously. I think it was Angel that said perfectly. Are you doing guided meditation, Anahita?
No, actually, I'm just exercising.
I thought maybe I'm missing some new news on guided meditation. Exercise is great. Anahita, what kind of exercise are you doing?
I'm just running in
You're doing
my
running
house.
in your
Yeah,
house. Okay.
Yeah, and also I walk outside, in order to take fresh air and also go for shopping.
Mm-hmm.
So while doing that, I am actually exercising as well.
Okay. When you mean running inside your house, you mean like on a treadmill?
No, I'm just running by playing music on my living room. And
Oh,
my own
okay.
room, not
Okay.
without using any equipment.
How does your neighbor feel about that?
I don't know about that actually. I think there is no neighbor. I don't know whether there is any neighbor under my room or not. But
Well, I'm sure you'll discover
Yeah,
soon
no
if you keep
complaint,
running
yeah.
at home, and if you'll discover two important points. One, if you have a neighbor. Two, if the building is strong and built well. So those are some positives of running in your home. Just meet your neighbor. All right. Okay,
Actually,
Anahita.
there is a gym, but I don't have time to go there.
You have a gym inside your building and you're running in your home?
Yes, sir.
Interesting. So if your neighbor knocks on your door, they're probably going to be like, excuse me, madam, there's a gym here, right? Right. Okay, Anahita, let's practice some part 3 questions. Are you ready?
Yes, it seems tricky, but I will try.
That's the right attitude. Okay, let's talk about city development. How is technology being used in cities to make life easier for people?
Technology has. Can you repeat, sir?
Yes, how is technology being used in city development to make life easier for people?
Technology is being used in city development to make life of people convenient through various ways, especially by smart infrastructure, adequate parking lots, and sustainable design of buildings. It has made life of people not safer, but also more easier, and the technology will develop more, and there will be even better form of these amenities as well as other aspects of life in the future.
What do you mean by sustainable design of buildings?
I mean sustainable design I mean that for example, by earthquakes, the buildings will not be damaged very easily, or something like that.
How will technology be used in the future for improving city life?
As I said it earlier, with the advancement of technology, there will be more amenities and healthcare systems, improved healthcare systems, as well as educational systems in the cities, and there will be more amenities for the people to enjoy and save their life fully.
If you could improve one aspect of city development, what would it be?
I would improve the sustainable designity of my city, because there are many houses in my cities which are highly vulnerable to the earthquakes. Therefore, I would take precautions and solve and tackle this issue.
Okay. Can you just say the beginning of that answer one more time, Anahita, but use the condition in your answer? So if you could improve one aspect of city development, what would it be?
If I could improve one aspect of city development, it would be sustainable design of my city, because there are many houses in my cities which are highly vulnerable to earthquakes, and therefore I would take precautions and tackle the issue.
Okay, much better. So I wanted to show you something there. So when you go back and review the same question and give another answer and pay attention to strategy, like using the condition and the grammar in this case, your second answer was a lot more fluent. So your first answer was about a band 556. Your second answer was a band 657. So half a band to a full band improvement. Okay. One other interesting benefit, I'm not sure if everybody caught this, but when you use the "if I could improve one aspect of my city," that also forced your brain to think about better connections later in your speech, and you use the word "therefore." Did you notice that? And
Yes.
the "therefore" in some ways is linking to the "if I could." So if I could do this, this would result, therefore this would happen. So when we use one good grammar or conjunction in this case, then often that will help our brain to think about that more as we progress, and then that will lead to better communication. So that's a big reason that we want to, use these joining words, and in this case we're using a condition and cause and effect, right? So if I could and therefore. So you want to keep doing that, okay?
Okay, sir. Yes. And
All right. Another important one, Anahita, is don't forget about just these grand concepts in society. So the improvement of infrastructure for earthquakes, that's a good idea. There are some other kind of, let's say, simple ideas of how humans are attempting to improve their city's development for the future. What is one of the biggest concerns these days when we are thinking about city development and building cities? Yeah, exactly. See how quickly you got that when we started discoursing, right? So one little trick is to just have that voice inside your head and always thinking like, what is one of the main concerns or the main focus of society today with cities, right? Air pollution, noise pollution, right? So those are important aspects. The environment. And as soon as you think about the environment and pollution, air pollution, noise pollution, you get a lot of ideas of how technology is being used to reduce those situations. For example, what kinds of technology are we using to reduce air pollution in cities?
I don't know.
Really? You see them every day there in Ontario, I'm sure. Let me ask you.
No, electrical car.
electric cars and electric refill stations, exactly. I'm not sure how it is on the East Coast, but here on the West Coast for us in Victoria and Vancouver, every second car is a white Tesla. I've never seen so many white Teslas in my life. There's so many of them. Do you have a ton of white Teslas driving around in Ontario as well?
I think yes.
Yeah, just next time you're
I'll tell you
outside.
how it went.
Yeah, next time when you're outside, Anahita, see how many white Teslas you can count in like half an hour, and you'll be surprised, okay?
Yes, sir. Okay, good.
Tons. Yeah, Elizabeth says, same here. There's probably tons of white Teslas everywhere. So keep those big thoughts in mind when you're answering these questions, and then you won't get so stuck for ideas, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay, Anahita, good. Keep practicing. And what I want you to do is think about these big ideas and then answer the question again and give more and more details, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right. Thank you, Anahita, so much for volunteering.
Thanks a lot for allowing me to speak.
You are most welcome. Bye, Anahita.
Bye, sir. Have a good day.
All right. Let's see if we can reach out to Cahyani. Cahyani, are you ready? Okay. Tran, I don't just choose premium students. Tran, if you're in the chat there, if that's you, send me a message, okay? Premium students do get a little bit of advantage. It's easier to see them because they have the big kind of label there. But no, this is open to everybody.
Hello, Adrian.
Hi, Cahyani. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
I'm doing good too. Finally, somebody who's on the same page as me, and you weren't like, I'm doing awesome, super. I'm kidding. All right, Cahyani, let's do this. So you are in Jakarta, Indonesia, right?
Yes, I'm right now in Jakarta.
Any aspects of Jakarta changing over the past 10 years?
I think from the public transportation is more developing right now rather compared to the past.
Mm-hmm.
And also the infrastructure right now is still developing because like the role of the government in here is it is very important.
Mm-hmm. Would you say it's improving?
Yeah, it's improving.
That's good. That's good. We're heading towards a beautiful future. All right. Chani, just repeat after me. I think the public transportation in Jakarta is developing rapidly.
I think the infrastructure and public transportation in Jakarta is improving rapidly.
I think the public transportation in Jakarta has developed rapidly over the past decade.
I think the public transportation has improving rapidly over the past decades.
Has developed rapidly over the past decade.
Has developed rapidly over the past decade.
Okay, good. Let me ask you a couple of part 3 questions. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Okay, but
Okay.
It's been a long time since I passed.
That's okay. How will technology be used in the future for improving city life?
I think technology will be used frequently to make easier people for life. Maybe for the side of the education or people in the daily life, like the role of the electric bikes. It is very important for people nowadays because they can reach their purpose place without fueling so much energy.
If you could improve one aspect of city development, what would it be?
That's a tough question. Let me think for a while. I think if I have a chance to improve one of the side of the city development, I would like to manage the traffic congestion because traffic congestion is the most crucial problem in the city. Maybe I would like to improve the public transportation that can manage the capacity 15 to 20 people, and it can also reduce the air pollution without using the private transportation like cars or motorcycles.
Okay, good. Good. You thought about the air pollution. I was hoping that would come to your mind, especially from having just spoken to Anahita and making that suggestion. Absolutely. Okay.
Yes.
You got going nice there at the end. So by the second question, Cahyani, you were nice and smooth. I definitely think you got a band 7 in your IELTS speaking just recently, a couple of weeks ago, right?
I got 6.5 in fact.
You got 6.5 in speaking.
Yes.
Okay, it's interesting. I think you're closer to a 7. If you had to, Cahyani, I think you could request an EOR, an inquiry on results, and there's probably a very good chance that they would bump you up to a 7 if you needed that. Because I do think, you know, your answers are good. I don't just think you're fluent. I think those are good answers, but I wasn't sitting there, so I don't know exactly what the examiner was asking and what questions or what answers you gave. Sorry. So it's hard for me to say. If I could listen to the recording, that would be great. But I do think you're closer to a 7. Again, it's just the grammar. And sometimes some examiners are a lot more strict when it comes to grammar. And I have a feeling that your examiner was. They were probably strict with your grammar mistakes, and that's why they gave you a 6.5. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a point.
Yeah. So careful with your grammar. Continue working on that, right? So instead of saying, like, for example, that makes sense, that makes sense, right?
Yes, makes sense.
And always be brave and repeat nice and loud. That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yep, that makes sense. Okay. All right. So lots of repetition, Cahyani. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right, Cahyani, thank you so much for volunteering. I appreciate that. Have a lovely day.
Okay, thank you, Adrian. Talk again later.
Thank you. Bye, Cahyani.
Bye.
All right, that was Cahyani. Thumbs up. Yes, very good. Thank you, volunteers. You're all doing great. Okay. Sarah, no classes tomorrow. Yeah, it's kind of a unique week. I'm back on Thursday. All right. Tran, is this the same Tran that was asking, does he only pick premium students? Tran, I don't see you volunteering. Are you there? Let me just reach out to you. Maybe you're there, and then I can kind of communicate and see what's going on. What's up, man? This is free, definitely. I should ask, would you like to volunteer? If it's the same Tran, maybe not, right? But maybe it might be a good tip. Okay, there's Wendy. Hi, Wendy. Thanks for all those thumbs up. What's up, man? All right, I'm not sure if Tran's there or not, but I did my best to reach out. Students, I'm going to wrap it up there for the day. As I mentioned, I'm a bit beat today, so I'm going to rest up a bit. Mohammed, I will catch you next time. I'll keep you in mind for Thursday when we return with speaking part 1. Students, this feature, this speaking feature, it's on the website. It's Student Partner Speaking right there, just above my head, and it's for everybody. So use it. It's not just to speak with me, but it's to speak to your classmates. A lot of students use it. A lot of students have fun with it. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, daily English is very important, Cahyani. Absolutely. Okay. Students, the website again is aehelp.com or academicenglishhelp.com.
Welcome
These are
to
our websites. You can see me there in the introductory video that power these live classes. Click the big red button to join our premium IELTS package. It's right there. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. For the general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. Looks like this. And there's a lot of materials there for you. So you should have tons and tons of study aids to help you pass IELTS. Thank you, Carolina, for moderating. Thank you, Sarah, for moderating. It was great to see the two of you in the class. Thank you, David, Raj, Domenico, Fuang. Thank you, volunteers. Again, check out the websites, use the premium package, spend a couple dollars, do yourself a favor, learn good English with good strategies and good materials. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada on the southern tip of Vancouver Island, where we, like many other places around the world right now, are experiencing quite a heat wave. It's hardly 9:30 in the morning and it's already scorching hot even in my office. bye for now, everybody. Much love to all of you, wherever you are in the world. Keep it being ambitious. Keep moving forward. And we'll talk to you on Thursday. Bye for now.